Hey there guys, Pedro Bautista here. Um, I'm trying something different. Um, when I upload photos, I usually upload just the photos. But this time I'm going to try something different just to try to get you guys a bit involved in what I do. Um, and This is what this is for. This is why I'm recording this, just, to give you guys an extra bit of insight on exactly what it is I do when I edit. Eventually I might make a video of me, on the street shooting or on location, but that'll be a bit more ahead. Now, uh, let's get into these photos. Um, as you can see, I have 9 photos, well, 8, considering this is just a virtual copy, but 8 photos. I took these on Wednesday, 28th of November, which was yesterday for me as I'm recording right now. Um, I went to downtown LA, one of my favorite places to shoot around here, just because I feel it's so lively and there's so much going on, or there can be so much going on. And this is what this was. Now, this picture that I'm gonna get into, this one right here, just a bit of backstory. I was walking up right next to where the Los Angeles Public Library is, the downtown one, and this guy was here, and I took a picture of him. He told me a story. We started talking, and we talked for about an hour. Just him talking about whatever, and I was, listening, and I was talking back to him, and it was a really nice conversation. I would say, and it was good. I have nothing to complain about this guy, and I love his image so much because there's so much to him. It's not just, oh hey, it's a homeless guy. There's a lot more to it. He's smiling. He's vibrant. He's alive. He's lively, I should say, not alive, because he's obviously alive. But it's lively. It's there's a lot going on to it. Now, when I first saw him, he was already happy, and when I pointed my camera at him, he naturally just posed, and that's why he's this way. The one thing I don't like is his thumb right here. Um, I wish it weren't there. I wish he would have kept his arm down, but I have no control over that. Still a strong image, and I'm not gonna care too much for that. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, settings and what I use my 50mm 1.4. It's a prime lens, very good for street photography, I would say. And this is my favorite lens to use. It goes all around really. I was at 200 ISO, 2.5 aperture, just because I wanted to blow out the background. As you can see, I did. It's very creamy, it's very soft, it's very nice. And that's always at 2.5 and 320th of a second. That's my shutter. As you can see, I'm pretty much perfectly exposed. Um, I wouldn't change my exposure on here. So let's get started with the editing. Now, when I edit, I always come down here to this area. First things first, I never start editing without coming out here. Why, you may ask? Well, it's simple. It's because these different profiles, they give out different, different colors, different brightnesses, different contrast levels, different vibrances. Now, I always use standard just because that's exactly what I shoot at on my camera. Whenever I shoot, it's always on standard, and then if I ever need to change something, I will come and change it here because I shoot in RAW. So, first things first, do that, and now we can start the actual editing. Now, in my street photography collection, whenever I shoot street photography, when I edit, I make sure that it is in black and white. There will be really rare times where I will leave the image in color, where I will just continue editing, but rarely. So what I'm gonna do is make this into black and white. Now, there's 2 options to make an image black and white. You can either bring the saturation down. What I do is as I go up to this button right here, this black and white button, right click. Now it's full black and white, and I have full control over colors. What color is what, right? You can see all the different little colors changing. Let me just put this back. Um, and that's what I like to use most times. Sometimes there will be that moment where I do just need to bring down the saturation, and that will be enough for me. But not in this case. Now, when people do black and white images, um, people make them end up like what you're seeing on the screen right now. It's very bland, very gray, very neutral. And that's not what I like to see, personally. Um, so what I'm gonna do to bring this up is I'm going to pop my contrast up to 100 full, and that usually works out for me, and it seems to be working out thus far. So I'm gonna keep my contrast at 100. And actually, you know what? Before I go into anything else, I'm going to come in here. Actually, I'll say that for later. You guys will see what I'm gonna do. Um, Contrast at 100 really makes things pop, right? Your my black levels are really down. My highlights are up. As you can see, these little areas of highlights. I'm gonna bring my blacks down actually. Just to bring my darks down. Yeah. Shadows I might want to bring up just a tiny bit, a hair, just to give me that extra elevation of, like his neck here. It's really dark, or back his ear, whatever. And let's bring up my shadows a tiny bit. Now clarity. I love the clarity slider. You can go up to 100, which I never do, just because it's really, it's not appealing at all. You can see it's not good, but I certainly don't want to bring it down because it makes the image really soft, really not good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it up a tiny bit. Well, I shouldn't say a tiny bit because it's more than I normally should. 17 is just fine. It's a good level of extra clarity in the image. What else is next? From my black level down, whites. Do I want to do anything with them? Just a tiny bit up. Shadows are up. Highlights I'm gonna leave there. Okay, medium contrast, linear. I'm gonna leave it at linear just to not make it too, just to not make blacks come out too much, because then that's not a good thing either. There's a certain point where it's just right, and I'm getting there. I usually do this right side by side from the original, just so I know what colors I'm gonna be messing around with. Now you can see there's reds in his face, right? His face contains a lot of reds. So if I want to mess around with lighting in his face, I'm gonna bring up the reds a tiny bit, just to add that extra detail in him. And then I'll bring up the oranges as well. You saw how these levels change down here. So I'm gonna leave that there. Next is my detail. Right now, at the beginning, as of right now, the entire image is receiving sharpening. The entire image, and once again, I'm not a fan of that. I always mask. So you can see from this right, as I hold this down, the white areas are the ones that are going to be sharpened, and the entire image is receiving sharpening now. Now you can see as I slowly move towards the right, slowly the smoother surfaces are turning black, and that is because the dark areas are receiving no sharpening. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to make sure that the only thing being sharpened is the edges, and preferably just the subject, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Sure, there are some edges in the background, but I don't mind that, as long as majority of the sharpening is being received by the subject. Now that that's done, I'm not going to touch noise reduction because, like I said, I was at 200 ISO. That gives me no problems at all. I'm just fine in noise and grain, whatever you want to call it, so I'm not going to touch that. Next is my profile corrections. Click it. You see how these corners are straightened just because each lens gives a certain level of barrel distortion, and this is just to straighten the image out. Chromatic aberration is simple. It's just sometimes you have like different colors on the edges, and all that does is gets rid of those. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with this image. Now what I'm going to do is, as I saw earlier, his eye, right? You can see his eyes clearly right here. But what I want to do is I want to make those pop. You can see he has blue eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming here in this adjustment brush, and I'm going to select his iris enhance, right? It's going to be just enough to bring out the eye. I'm not going to touch the actual center of it. I'm just going to go around it. So I'm going to click this, of course, just so I can see exactly where what I'm painting over. Just going to go around. Now, as you guys are taking notice, as I'm painting over this, over his eye, it's going a bit slow. I don't mind that, just because I know that, you know, I've done quite a bit to this image already. I've changed some things. So it going slower is just natural because it's trying to paint over what's already been done. And that makes it harder for the image to do. For the Lightroom, I should say, for Lightroom to do. I'm going to unclick this. And as you can see, it's already becoming a bit more clear. I just mess around with the different levers, right? Whatever I bring up, whatever I bring down. Too much. You know, let me come out here. Let me take that out just so I can see. As you can see, his eye is popping out a lot more. You can already see it from, you know, the distance. I think that's... Let me just make this pop out. And that's it. His eye pops out a lot more now. You can see, of course, here it looks a bit unnatural. You can see exactly where I painted over, but, you know, unless there are pixel peepers, then it shouldn't matter at all. You can see the eyes are nice and, well, the eye, I should say, the eye is nice and, you know, it's out there, you can see it. And yeah, this image is pretty much done. I might add some vignetting. Come down here. So just, you know, it's darkening the corners a bit. And yeah, that's it. So this video will be, you know, it'll be there with all the images. Be sure to take a peep at those, because I have some pretty strong images this time around in this shoot photography session, this album that I'm going to put out. So link to those pictures on my photography page are going to be down below in the description. I hope you liked or enjoyed watching this, seeing as I go through editing images. If you have something to say, if you have something to ask, please leave it down in the comment section below. But if you'd like a quicker response, or you know, be a bit more direct, then you're more than welcome to message my photography page, which I guess I'll also be leaving a link down below for. I respond on there much quicker. I take more priority to that than YouTube. So if you have a question you need an answer quickly, then be sure to message the page and I'll get back to you ASAP. Be sure to like, if you have any friends that are into photography, and they might want to get into, you know, editing or get better editing, be sure to show this to them. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be putting a lot more of these out, you know, just different settings, different locations, different people, different things. So stay tuned for those. So, you know, push that subscribe button up there and, you know, keep up. Also, I will be releasing that Caesar behind the scenes episode 1. I guess you can call it episode 1. That episode 1, that'll be released sometime this week, if not the weekend. So it'll probably be released next week during the weekdays. But stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Peace.